Like, let's say this. So this weekend, for instance, the first problem was the field was too big. So rounds at Northwoods were taking at least 5 hours.
Way too long.
It was insane. You start around at 10, you're finishing a little after 3.
Way too long. I mean, like PGA Tour ball golf rounds where, it's a way slower sport are taking that long.
And they're walking farther.
Yeah.
The holes are longer.
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
The whole thing is
yes,
slower.
they're not in the woods. They're not having to like look for discs and stuff like that. But that
Disc
wasn't
golf
what was really
round,
adding up a lot of the time. Part of it was Northwoods hole 12 it was legitimately taking like 45 plus minutes to play one hole.
It's a joke.
But the thing is, like, it's a great hole. Hole 12 is. The design's great. The difficulty's great. I love that hole.
Yeah.
The issue was there was too many bad players in the field that just shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
And like there was a lot of sub 9, heck, there was even a lot of sub 930s out there that like you're not gonna be able to play good at Northwoods.
Well, I mean, those are people who are playing it because they think, oh, this is a cool opportunity to play it. Like
local
maybe
players,
it's local, which is just that can't be. Like, if this is the Premier Tour, like, those guys can't be out there.
No.
What if you're just some random spectator and you show up and that's the card you find yourself, like, glancing at? You should be, that just can't happen.
I don't like it being ratings, the thing that separates, because I feel like, I've talked to several people about this, and I feel like if you make ratings the cap, so let's just say that the Tour is 970 and above, you can play for Pro Tour. If I'm on the bubble and I'm a 972 rated player and I want to sign up for a Pro Tour,
not playing.
I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Because I'm 972 rated. I'm not going to play. Or I'm picking and choosing, and I'm only playing events that I know have really good ratings and there's a course that tends to my game.
Well, the bottom line is those spots have to be earned through a point system.
Exactly.
And that's
where I think
it's going to come down to.
That's where I think it needs to, the tour card idea that I've pounded on this podcast, that needs to be the answer. I just don't see another answer, because everything else you can cheat the system a little bit.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the rating system, you can
definitely make it work in your favor.
Go up. Yeah. Yes, to go up, it does require you to play good, but I'm much more likely to know, like, personally, I'm going to play better at open courses. I'm going to play better at, like, hybrid courses. And so I can cherry pick those events and pick ones that are, like...
based on the field, too.
Yeah, I can look at the field. I can look at the event. I can look at all this and cherry pick it. And if it was 970, me as probably, like, currently 950 rated golfer, I could get my rating to 970 because I could cherry pick those events, and I would drop off the ones that I know I'm not going to play good at.
Right.
And I could get it up there to make that tour event, which when I show up to Northwoods, I'm a 950 rated golfer.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be there.
Right.
So that's where I think it needs to be some type of qualification system. So you're filtering, like, okay, the players that are showing up here are the players that should be here.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, there's going to be players that it's not their weekend.
Yeah.
And so if you're gotten through 2 rounds and you're struggling and you're just...
The best golfers in the world miss cuts sometimes.
I mean, we looked at James Conrad was in like 64th or something.
Yeah.
Which he would have made the cut for this weekend. But still, there's... Like, if you take a James Conrad who has the capability of being on lead card and he's in 64th,
right?
There's someone who has the capability of being on 4th card that's in 100th.
Yeah.
So that guy that's in 100th, why make him play 2 more rounds?
Well, and it's like the whole idea of having a cut, while it makes sense, is a part of that, like, inclusive attitude that disc golf has still, where, like, they feel bad for, like, wronging players. Yeah. Because the big argument would be, well, that entry fee is expensive, and I want to pay for 4 rounds of golf.
So maybe the cut line, well, yeah, if you want to pay for 4 rounds of golf, then play AM. Maybe the cut line is, to me, in the cut, I always feel bad for the people that are on the cut line. So if you cut it at the cash line, and, like, everyone that made the cut cashes, then I'm like, well, that sucks. If you're 1 stroke out of cash with 2 rounds to play, and you're like, dude, I could have cashed. So I would personally pick the cut line plus, like, 10% of the field or something. I don't know what it would be the percentage-wise, but something where the next, like, 1 more card that right now is on the bubble of cashing
has a chance to get in. Yeah.
So then the bottom of the field still has a little pressure. There's still something you're playing for, where you can't just be like, okay, well, I made the cut, I cashed.
Right.
That
makes sense. I like that.
But I like the idea of a cut, and I think that the tour cards and or a cut help this tournament out drastically.
I mean, these are all things that work towards that initiative of just making it more cutthroat in disc golf, and, like, making players want to get better.
Yeah.
That's the whole point, is we just need, like, you have to make winning, making cuts, these things harder to do.
Well, that's the thing too, is that it doesn't need to be a universal thing. You don't need our tournament, a B tier, the Battle for Bedford, to have a cut.
Well, no.
It's a Pro Tour thing.
Right,
this is something the Pro Tour needs to start, what the heck is the word that just slipped my mind? Putting into practice. There's a word for that. Institutionalizing, that's not it. What the heck am I looking for? Implementing. This is something the Pro Tour needs to start implementing.
Right.
Because it's the top tier tour.
Yeah.
So when they implement these things, then, it makes sense for them. It might not make sense for A tiers. It might not make sense for national tours. Whatever it is. We're not saying disc golf wide needs to do this or the payout we're about to talk about. That's not a disc golf wide thing. That's a Pro Tour thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're showing up, like the whole idea behind this too is like local events, obviously you don't need cuts, you know, because the whole thing we want is we want you to keep playing these local events until you're good enough to be on the tour.
To qualify for tour, yeah.
And then that's the whole system as it would work. But,
exactly.
Because local events, the pay scale can be whatever. That's more of get better, play for fun, whatever. But
that's what all of disc golf right now is what local events should continue to be.
Yeah.
And by local events, I mean up to A tiers.
Yeah.
Even national tours. None of this needs to be implemented on all those scales. But I think the Pro Tour now needs to we're getting to a point in disc golf where that needs to become a new tier.
Yeah.
That's this is, if you're on the Pro Tour,
it's top of the top.
Yes. Yeah. You should be able to wear that badge with honor. Mm-hmm. I am a Pro Tour player.
Yeah.
Just like I'm a PGA Tour player. That should be something that's rare in disc golf.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first year the trading cards came out for the Pro Tour, and there were guys on there. I'm not going to mention names, slander anybody, if I can think of a few, who I'm who is that? And that should not be the case. If you are considered a Pro Tour player, you should be a recognizable name in the sport.
Yeah. And I think, I've said this multiple times, I think this is the only thing that makes sense to me is that's what, I know they say these Silver Series events are to test them as possible Pro Tour stops in the future.
Yeah.
But to me, you're setting up a a secondary tour here. I don't know if there's legality stuff, if there's some type of contract thing that they're trying to work through, why they haven't done it already.
I mean, I would encourage disc golf to make as many tours as they want, mini tours as they want. I mean,
the smaller ones, yeah.
Yeah, ball golf has there's a mini tour just in Florida. There's all these mini tours people have just made, and it's all people, that are just trying to make some money while they get better so they can try and earn a tour card.
Yeah. And that's the thing is
that stuff can do whatever the heck it wants.
There needs to be a singular tour.
Yeah.
But then there can be as many just Silver Series, National Tour,
a junior tour,
Virginia tour.
Yeah, whatever.
And maybe, I'm sure the Silver Series is the only one you can earn a Pro Tour card. Or maybe the Silver Series and National Tour, you can earn the Pro Tour card.
Well, I mean, that's how the PGA is. They have the Corn Ferry Tour right now, which was the web.com. That's their sponsored secondary tour.
Yeah.
But then beyond that, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and to me, that just makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that would solve a lot of the issues you see here. And then you can also restructure the payout on this top tour because those players that are grinding it out, trying to survive on tour, they're not a tour player.
Right, yeah.
They're just not. They're not going to be the ones with the tour card.